Hey, this is Chris again. I thought that I would do a quickie video, hopefully this is quick, where I am setting up a new sound effect in the game. Um, and not only am I going to change a sound effect, I'm also going to set it up in the project for the first time. So we'll see how quickly that goes. Oh, I accidentally still have the game running. It's gonna die because of how I did it. All right, so it's loading some files here. Ba, 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 ba. Speedy. All right, so back here in our familiar project here, the AIW2 modding and GUI. This time there's a folder called sounds. And if you go in here, um, there's a variety of different categories of sounds at this point. And the way that they're set up is somewhat arbitrary. They don't. It's organized in a way that's handy. I mean, but there's no magic to the way that it's organized. So you can see there's a whole lot of sounds set up here, and you'll notice that a lot of these have not been used yet. And so what I'm going to do is I want to have a sound effect for, no, that didn't work, basically on buttons. So we've got our normal one, and we've got our start game one. To start it off with, I wanted to make sure that the start game one doesn't play uh, when it's just loading up the campaign in the new campaign screen that Badger created. And so I needed to add a few things to the underlying system for that and um, the underlying API. And since I had to do that, well, I figured I would make a video showing how to add a sound. So I'm going to go ahead and yank a sound from a different project. In this particular case, probably from Stars Beyond Reach. Your sound effects can be in whatever format you want them to be in. OGG or MP3 or WAV are the main ones. Since they're embedded in the project, they get converted to whatever the internal format is that Unity's transcoding it to, based on what the compression settings are. I won't read FLAC files, unfortunately, but that's not really a big issue. So let's see here. Where on earth were the files for the sound effects in Stars Beyond Reach? Oh, they were baked in. That's right. So those were under Assets, Resources, Instant Sounds. All right, and I've got some various ones here that are like, I should have one that's just called Buzz. I usually have one like that. All right, so we'll take that. And what I'm going to do is come in here, create a new folder. We'll call this button. We'll just call this button denied. Denied. All right, show an explorer. That pops up a new window here, button denied. I'm going to paste that in. We'll open this up. Come in here. What does this sound like? Right. Okay, fair enough. All right. So then I've just been Control D. I've just been having AAA SFX as the name of all of the holder assets that I've got here. This is an Arkin SFX item, and really this can be called whatever, but I'm calling them just AAA SFX because when you put 3A's at the beginning, it makes it always show up at the very start of the list of objects, which is handy. And it also makes it so that you don't have to. You already know the name of where it is. When you've got a path name, the path already includes the function here. So button deny, it's already in that. All right, so put that in there. Buzz. Yes, I know it says click nose hair trimmer. For the regular buttons, bit of trivia, that is actually the sound of a nose hair trimmer being clicked. Now you won't be able to get that out of your head. All right, so the SFX stuff here that I've got, this will be included in the asset bundle, and since it's referencing Buzz, Buzz will also get included in the asset bundle. I don't have to explicitly say put it in the asset bundle because of that. It has the ability to go up or down in pitch automatically. I don't really care for it to do that all that much here, so I'm just going to say nah and leave it at 0.8 to 1.2 instead of the larger range it had before. And it's got a bunch of cool stuff on here of the random way. Just tooltips. I put in tooltips. That was thoughtful of me. All right, so now we have this new thing, button denied. This is going into the asset bundle AI War 2 SFX. However, if you wanted to add your own modded sound files, you would create your own asset bundle, Badger sounds, Craig sounds, whatever. All right, so save all assets, and I'm going to build all the asset bundles. Now, there's an XML file. There's actually an XML folder here. I will go ahead and open a containing folder on this one too. All right, so under AI War 2 Ultra game data, or the AI War install folder, excuse me, then game data configuration SFX item, there's XML files in here which define, they don't go to individual sound files, but rather they go to a sound pool. And that pool is meant to be played under some sort of circumstances. Basically, it could be, yeah, that thing's locked up. It could be based on it always playing the same sound, which is what it's doing now, or it could be based on it playing randomly from a set of other sounds. So I've got a locked up version of Unity here, so let me kill that real quick. It's a bug in Unity that when you've got an external DLL that gets updated while you are in play mode in the editor, then it locks up the editor. And yeah, so all right, I'll have that opening in the background. Anyway, so normally you would go in and you would create your own SFX entry in your own file, unless it's meant to be part of the official thing, and you say what the bundle name is, so it can be yours. You set what the bus is. You can get a pretty good idea about the buses in here from these other sections. You got alerts and deaths and weapon firing and interface general and so forth. The bus is kind of important because that determines its relative volume to everything else, and if there's going to be any sort of music or sound ducking based off of what's going on, which sound effects override which others, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a bit of a longer tutorial, I would say, but yeah, those were Fiverr, which is a place where I get some voice actors and actresses. So you saw some of them that are actually used in AI War 2 that I haven't gotten their things in, and then some others that I'm considering for various male and female parts. So sounds, buttons, button denied is what I said. So button denied. And so then now we've got button start game, which is being used in a couple of places. Right now, if I do a search for that, so much stuff is showing up off the screen for you. Sorry. To show up stuff for here, we've got click sound. When you hit start game from the game setup, then it makes a boom sort of sound instead of a little click sort of sound. So that's handy. And then I've also got a different place where I'm doing it where if you are actually loading a game, then it's going to play it as well. And actually, there's two different cases where it could play that. So, all right. This is in the load game menu file. And actually, in this particular instance, there is in this particular case, I'm going to want to play button denied because the file didn't exist for some reason. Mouse handling result dot do not play click sound. This is a new thing that you can return. These are flags, so you can pipe them together and have more than one thing. But right now, do not play click sound is the only thing that's actually returned. So I'm going to copy this to my little working text file because it's just quicker that way. And I've got a couple of other error locations. Whoa, more than a couple. All right, good grief. I'm going to pause this for a second while I clean these up. Okay, I'm back. This saves you some grief in watching a extra long video. So the deal is here that essentially if you want to play a sound effect at some particular time and it's presumably a GUI sound effect, like something that is happening because you clicked a button or something along those lines, then you would call sfx item table dot try play item by name GUI only, and then we would pass in the name, which would simply be whatever the name is in one of the SFX files. Now, in this particular case, I've actually added another entry into mouse handling result, which is play click denied sound. That's such a common case where we want to give some oral feedback that something didn't happen. Previously to now, the game would not only still play the click sound, so it sounds like you're clicking, it sounds like it should be doing something, but also it would not give you any sort of oral feedback that, nope, that's not allowed on purpose for some reason. So for all you know, it's just failing like a bug. So now it should play our lovely sound whenever we go in there. And so let's get this loaded up. And additionally, when I'm in the lovely load menu that Badger created, on the outermost section, when I'm selecting a campaign, it should go click. And when I'm actually like this sort of click, and this one, good. And then that's a random pool of clicks, so they're all a little bit different. You saw how there were like 4 different nose hair clipper sound effects. Yeah, so those were 2 different ones, and they also have the pitch adjustments on them, so even the same sound effect is going to sound a little bit different depending on the pitch adjustment. Now it should go brrrm when I click into this, which is what it was doing on both this level and the level above. So let's see. Hooray! Now, when I come in here, that all sounds fine. If I click something that let's see if there's anything I'm really not allowed to click right now. No, I'm allowed to do that. There's a good example of a different file being Put in, boy, let's try going to a control group. Darn. Well, it's set up just too well. There's not a lot of places where you can try and, generally speaking, there shouldn't be a lot of cases where those buttons are like, hey, well, let's try this. Mm, Those are validly trying to actually show something. So I give up on that. It should play the failure sound effect just fine, but I don't have any way of really verifying that without a button that's not valid to click. Yeah, I mean, all the buttons are okay. So bother, everything's working too well. All right, well, that's the video. Thanks for watching.